It is Friday night after MCM. I'm knackered, but I need to finish this because I want to cosplay Strife tomorrow. So, I modeled these, and I figured out a way of how I'm going to keep this in place. So, I was thinking of either using super glue or JB Weld on the outside of the glove and sticking it on and leave it to dry. I decided not to do that because I was thinking eventually when I want to remove the glove and I pull it, eventually it's gonna break the fabric top side, and that's gonna come off. So I thought, you know what would be easier if I modeled these, printed them out. So I print these on its side so that you can try to break it and it won't really break. I tried to break this by pulling it as hard as I can with pliers. It did break, but with extreme force, like force that you wouldn't actually use for pulling off the glove. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So first of all, I've got a soldering iron on. Is at 240 degrees. Not, I mean 480. So I'm going to start with the pinky finger. So first of all, this will need to go through the thumb, like that. One thing, this one is actually quite large for the pinky. Maybe I should start off with a bigger size. Should I start off with a bigger size? Maybe number 2. Let's start with number 2. But first of all, before I do that, I need to make a hole. So I've got a drill here next to me. Now you won't have to make these holes. I'm going to cut out holes in the 3D models. So because as I was making these, I was trying to figure things out. So, and I thought, you know what, I'll do this. So let's give it a try, because I haven't tried it yet, so this will be my first attempt. So you guys can watch me make the hole as well. So let's start with number 2. See, it's got a written 2 on it. So at the very center. So this is also finished, the paint job, and this polyurethane matte coat, clear coat, and that's dried, so I'm handling it. Now the thing is, we're going to damage the top, but we can repair that, and it's kind of essential. So we've got a hole here, we need a bigger hole, kind of lost track which one's which. Right now I'm going to use 2.5 mil. drill bit in, and we need to fit that for 2.5, 3, that's 3 mil. That still won't fit. That looks much bigger than 3. 3.5. Will that fit? Not yet. I want it to fit quite easily, so let me get a few more drill bits. Right, a 4mm drill bit. Yep, that's good. And will it fit? Okay, that will fit. That will fit nicely. So now the key part is so now I need to make a hole in the gloves, but instead of using the drill bit, I'm using the soldering iron. Now this is no advice, this is just how I'm doing it, so I'm just going to do it like this. Gently poke soldering iron and melt it through. Never done this before actually to leather. This is leather. It's actually going to melt through. Yep, it will. Here we go. Okay. Do I need to test it with anything? Let me get a rod quickly. Yeah, this is just for testing purposes, so before I shove that thing into the fingertip, let's just test with a rod that it went through both layers, because this glove has 2 layers. Did it go through both of them? That's the question. Because I don't think it did. So I'm actually going to use this rod whilst I'm poking it. Okay, there we go. So now let's try poke this through. This will heavily depend on the glove as well, I think. To the very fingertip. And we want to get that hole, that rod, plastic long bit through this somehow. There we go, I can see it all the way. Now the key part, before we put the thumb on, we need to put the other pieces on. If we don't, we're screwed. So this is number 2. I need 2. Got number 2. No, this is 3. 2. And 2 and 2. Right. So first goes this. That on top. And then we want to check the orientation of it. So that's the front. And I'm gonna actually put my I'm gonna put my finger in and get a feel of it, see how it feels. So you see my finger touches the tip. And let's align it with it. So it looks like that at the moment. Let's just check. Yep, fits good. And align it. See this one, remember I broke it a little bit. Or is this too thick? Did I make it too thick? Did it want to go in? It looks like it. I'm gonna have to make new ones, I think. Yeah, this is way too thick. Or I could grind this down quickly because I don't have any others at the moment. Yeah. Okay, so I quickly grinded this down. So it's much tinier. Basically the point of this is this outside to be larger than the rod, than this plastic rod, so it doesn't go through the hole basically. But it can't be too big, otherwise the thumb itself won't go through, will it? So let's try this one. Let's see how this goes. And remember, put the other pieces on first, because once we glue it on, there's no coming back, yo. Through the hole. Where's my hole? There's my hole. Okay. And again, got to put it through my fingers. That looks much more suitable. Let's put fingers on, check numbers. Number 2. Number 2. Make sure it's correct orientation, not upside down. Number 2. Is it going to fit this time? Yes, it will. And yeah, that feels good. And I think before I do that, do I want to pull it? Not too much, just push it with your finger. Yeah, so that looks good. And now, tricky bit. I'm going to use the soldering iron to melt it together. So that it wouldn't go anywhere. So let's do it. So soldering iron's off. Let's turn it on. That's good. You know what I'm going to do first? I'm use angle grinder quickly. This is a bit ridiculous. I don't advise you do this. This is only me doing this. Yeah, that's really silly because the plastic is on my fingertip and you don't want to conduct the heat at all. But I did it because I know what I'm doing. I'm pretty controlled with it, but this isn't advice. And now and again, the heat will pass through to the plastic below, so I need to be very careful. Probably going to eventually start feeling the merging plastics. Right, I'm going to leave that and get some more plastic because I want to put some more plastic on top. Do I though? Or do I want to go a bit deeper? That's the only thing that's a bit annoying. You can't really, you can't judge the depth. Okay, and now I need to build back some volume on the front. So let's give it a second. Okay, I'm going to build back volume up with the support material. So soldering iron is still on. Okay, and now I'm just going to make it a bit rounder. The shape looks pretty good. But yeah, it's a bit awkward because I'm damaging the polyurethane finish and the rub and buff underneath and the paint job underneath. But let's see if we can through this. And now I want to sandpaper just the tip. Actually, do I want to give it a second for it to cool? Before I do that, let's do the other fingers. So I need more of those tips. So, right, same process. I just trimmed that one off. So let's do number 3, 3, and 3. So here we go. Number 3. 3. Just triple check. 3, 3. Yep. So let's start off with the fingertip. So I'm going to poke this rod through so that both layers of the glove are protruded, and I want to do it in the center. There we go. Feel the center. Just going to hold it. Do not press this so it does that. If you press it hard, it's going to go into your fingers. But again, this is not advice. I do not advise you to do any of this. This is just how I do it. I am not liable for any of your damages to your own self. Okay, how's that? Come on, go for it. There we go, finally went through. Now I need a rod to go through. Okay, got a hole, come on, go through. Okay, that's good. Now I need to make a hole in the tip again. Alright, let's give it a go. So remember, need the other finger pieces first. Crucial part. Get this right. Wait a minute, I haven't got the main part in yet. Number 3. Put my finger in. Three. Checking for the 5th time. 3. And then 3. I can see the tip. Now push in as hard as I can. See how much extra I had to push for it to go to all the way in. Any extra? That'll do. Okay. And now again. You know what, I'm not going to use the angle grinder because I don't want to make it short, because then I'm going to have to rebuild size anyway. So what's the point? Actually, it's a bit long actually, so I do need to trim it. But then again, I'll need to build up volume again. because I want the extra height. So I want to go deep first to make contact. Not too deep because your finger's underneath it. Not advice, but you know. And then we merge it. Not merge it, make it nice and seamless somehow. A bit excessive this, so I'm just gonna fumes. Wear a mask if you want to be safe. Not advice. Okay, no more. Right, I need to give it some time to dry. Oh, this is hot, yep, as expected it to be. In the meantime, start sanding this down. Just the tip. I'm just gonna modify the tip whilst I'm wearing them anyway. And this is a rather high grit. This feels like maybe 180, whilst not touching my glove. Okay, right, this should be semi-dry, so let's attempt to take it off. And I'm going to pull this finger because this one's dry. So, fingertip, the moment of truth. Will it work? This one's a bit too tight. Where's the tightness come from? That finger. And if you want to be extra careful, pull here. Doesn't have to be the fingertip. But for the initial few pulls, that's where you will have to pull. So let's pause this for a second. Struggling to pull this one through, so I'm going to grab it by the tip and gently pull it with pliers, not too much, without trying to break it. There we go. Put it back on. Okay, so this one needs to go under, remember, and this needs to go slightly, yeah, more like that, yeah. Check functionality as you're doing this. Yep, feels good. And then, as previously, get the excess off. Blend. Okay, so one more finger left, just the thumb now. Gonna ignore this excess mess for now. And I'll show you how I get them off easily. So, although they should have strength now to be able to pull them off, if you want to take precautions, move the middle link and first link, middle link of each finger, like that. This one's a bit tight. Start with the thumb, and then maybe from the bottom downwards. Yeah. Repeat on all across. There we go. Where's that tension coming from? There we go. Right, onto the thumb.